Kicking off at number 5, Ursula and Sabina Erikson. Not going to lie, this case is equal parts incredibly interesting and downright insane. In short, in 2008, two women, twin sisters Ursula and Sabina Erikson, were caught on CCTV running head-on into traffic on the M6 motorway in England. Considered to be a rare act of folie à deux or shared psychosis, a psychiatric disorder where delusional beliefs are transmitted from one individual to another. In this case, the two twin sisters from Sweden, one of which would eventually go on to murder a man a few days later in Stoke-on-Trent. The pair began by catching a ferry from Ireland to Liverpool and then a coach to London, where they were ejected from the vehicle after acting erratically. It was then that they ran onto the motorway by foot, causing absolute chaos and surviving mind-blowing injuries. Ursula had her legs crushed by a truck and Sabina was knocked unconscious. When the police arrived, the pair attacked them as well as attacking paramedics who tried to aid them. It's a mind-blowing case of shared psychosis, and the whole thing was insanely caught on camera. Coming in next at number 4, Horton Mine. Technically not a security camera, but essentially the same thing for popular YouTuber exploring abandoned mines, aka Frank Hood, one of the rare brave souls on the internet whose life work is to head into the most nightmarish abandoned caves across the planet so we don't have to. Much appreciated, Frank. In 2014, he returned to a tunnel that he'd been to the year previously, but had only reached 100 foot inside before encountering a reported supernatural presence. On his second attempt, Frank mustered up enough courage to head further into the gloom-stricken tunnels, but as he took his last shots, he heard something that sent a chill up his spine. Well, Frank didn't want to stick around to find out. He went on to say that there was a sudden blast of cold air and he felt a sudden urge to get out of there. Rightly so. Spooky, eh? Next up at number 3, a very strange stranger. Now, I'm not sure if you feel the same way, but for me, horror often comes from the things that aren't explained, leaving strange and bewildering questions for us to fill the gaps with. In 2013, YouTuber Ursula posted a video that his home security cameras had captured of a stranger roaming in an even stranger manner around his home. Innocuous enough, right? Well, perhaps if you live in a busy neighborhood, but this house was way out in the mountains, miles away from a busy road, and also he had no neighbors. It was a cold and wet night with sparse reason for a stranger to be approaching a remote house. It leaves us with a lot of questions. Who was this woman? Had her car broken down and she needed help? Then, if so, why didn't she knock on the door? Why did she just roam around in a confused state, seemingly out of nowhere? I guess we'll never know. Swinging in at number 2, the Miami Cannibal attack. In May of 2012, a naked man, Rudy Eugene, attacked and maimed a homeless man, Ronald Popo, on the MacArthur Causeway in Miami, Florida. The events that transpired caused Eugene to be dubbed the Miami Zombie and the Causeway Cannibal. After stripping himself of all of his clothing, Eugene encountered 65-year-old Ronald Popo at around 1:55 p.m, who had been sheltering underneath the causeway. He then beat him and, bizarrely enough, began biting at his face, the causes for which are still unexplained. The majority of Popo's face above the beard, including his left eye, was bitten off, leaving him blind in both eyes and 80% of his face missing. Eventually, after police arrived at the scene and tried to subdue Eugene, they attempted to stop the attack. Eugene ignored the officers' warnings and reportedly growled at them before resuming to bite at his victim. Police shot Eugene a total of 5 times before he finally succumbed and died at the scene. And finally, at our number 1 spot, the Lars Mittank mystery. Now, this one is a good one. Thousands of people tragically go missing every year, a large portion of which are never found again. It's a terrifying thought, but different is the case of Lars Mittank, who seemingly disappeared of his own free will. Or was there something much more sinister behind it? In July 2014, Lars Mittank, a German man who was vacationing in Golden Sands, Bulgaria, began to act strangely while alone at his hotel. In the previous days, he was involved in a fight that led to his eardrum being ruptured and was then unable to fly home with his friends due to health reasons. Lars was last seen in Varna Airport in the nearby city of Varna when airport security cameras pictured him swiftly discarding his luggage and then sprinting out of the airport's main doors. Once outside outside CCTV caught him climbing a fence, running into a meadow, and then disappearing into the woods. Lars Mittank has not been seen since, and has been missing for over 4 years. The mystery remains unsolved.
In at 5, massive fire. Uploaded to YouTube by Michael Hernandez on December 18th, 2017, this doorbell camera captured the horrifying moment a fire erupted just feet away from his front doorstep. In the description of the video, Michael stated that he was awoken around 3:30 AM by his Ring app, which notified him of motion at his front door. The app sounded between 3 to 4 times before he finally awoke. Once he did though, he noticed flames coming from his bedroom window. He ran to his front door to turn on the hose in an attempt to help extinguish the fire, but it was too hot. His fiancée immediately called 911 while Michael grabbed a fire extinguisher to battle the flames from his door. Take a look.
Oh!
If it weren't for his Ring app, the outcome of the video could have been completely different. God bless technology. In at 4, Creeper. This one is just absolutely horrifying, especially for me, and you will see why. A man was watching TV in his basement during the day when he got an alert on his phone that there was motion at his front door. He checked the app and could see a figure moving about just off camera. The man attempts to communicate with the stranger multiple times, receiving no response, yet the stranger continues to move. It's then that we catch a glimpse of the creeper. He's not human at all. Nope, he's a big spider, and it crawls directly over the camera before disappearing out of sight like the creeper it is. I hate this so much. You spider. You. In at 3, assault rifle. On September 10th, 2018, a man was spotted on door cam ringing his neighbor's bell at 4 AM, while sporting a bulletproof vest and carrying an assault rifle. The man stumbles around, appearing heavily intoxicated. But come on, we all enjoy a drink every now and then, but we don't all grab guns, do we? Oh yeah, it could be because of the strict gun laws out here in Canada. Yeah, we have those for a reason. The homeowner grabbed their children and hid in the bathroom while police were called. They were forced to wait 25 minutes until the police eventually arrived and arrested the man, who is now facing charges of aggravated assault. His identity has not been released to the public. However, the homeowner did state that the daughter of the man had recently stayed with them, during which time she claimed that she was afraid of her own father. I can see why. In at 2, man licking a doorbell. Yep. You heard correctly, a man licking a doorbell. On January 8, 2019, yep, this shit happened this year, police began searching for a man in California who was caught on a doorbell camera in the middle of the night, and what he did was utterly horrific. He can be seen on camera licking the doorbell, but not once, oh no, for 3 hours. 3 hours. He licked a doorbell for 3 goddamn hours. Does he not understand the concept of germs and the flu epidemic in the United States? No, I didn't think so. The licker in question was Roberto Daniel Arroyo and was tracked down thanks to the camera software the house had installed. Not only did he lick, but he also relieved himself in the front yard, which was also caught on camera. The man now faces charges of prowling and petty theft. And lastly, in at number 1, mysterious woman. On August 24th, 2018, a resident in Montgomery, Texas alerted the police after a strange woman rang her doorbell in the middle of the night. The woman appeared to have some sort of hand restraints on and was only partially dressed. She rang the bell and then left. Now, due to her mysterious nature and the restraints she was sporting, many believe that she was related to a local missing persons case. Authorities investigated, but she didn't match any search. On August 29th, she was finally identified as 32-year-old woman named Lauren, after police confirmed she was alive after a house call at home in Sunrise Pines. A man in the home had committed suicide. When the authorities arrived, they found the man with a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. Lauren was his girlfriend and was a victim of domestic violence. On September 18th, Lauren spoke to Inside Edition, stating, "I woke up and he was kneeling on my chest and stuffing some sort of cloth in my mouth. I truly felt like I was going to die that night," which is exactly what led her to ringing a stranger's doorbell in the middle of the night. I think we can all say that we're glad that she is alive and safe.
Number 5, the All Fours Ghost. How did we ever find cryptids and other paranatural beings before we started putting cameras on every street corner and inside everyone's pocket? If for nothing else, the surveillance state era has made it significantly easier to find weird footage of things running around in the dark. Take a look at this creepy footage posted to Reddit, appropriately enough on the Skinwalker subreddit. Someone described it as a skinwalker caught on camera, but really it's just something weird, so it could be anything. Let's roll it. Pretty darn creepy, huh? At first glance, you'd be forgiven for thinking it's a dog or a demon monster or something, and it's only when you brave up and are willing to take another watch at it that you realize what you've been looking at is a human running on all fours perfectly like an animal. This is one of the freakiest things I have seen in a good while, and I literally exclusively watch scary content online all day for my job. This actually made me recoil. I've never seen a human being move like that. Well, allegedly a human, that's why we're including it in this video. Could this be a human? Or is this another being altogether? Some powerful shapeshifter caught mid-transformation? Or is this just someone who had a really long night and is on one or all of the substances? Now, I did my best to try and find what I could about this bizarre encounter. Did a little digging. A few commenters on the original thread mentioned that this particular instance is more well known in Mexico, with locals saying she's known as the dog woman, and others saying that this is a well-known person who suffers from a degenerative syndrome called Unner-Tan syndrome. That's a gene disorder that can cause affected individuals to walk on all fours. I only did about 15 seconds of research of that, so don't trust me too much. If we have any viewers in Mexico who can illuminate us a little bit and who know about this particular woman, please sound off in the comments. We would love to know. But until then, we just have to speculate, so let me know what you think. And if you're looking for way more creepy clips of strange ghosts and unexplained things on security cameras, oh, we have got so much of that and then some. Make sure you hit subscribe, please ring that little bell so you don't miss a single video of ours, but do that at the end of this video, okay? Because I got way more strange things caught on camera for you. Number 4, security guard. Our next clip up today was also posted to Reddit and is a delightfully strange one. It's CCTV footage of a security guard working in Buenos Aires at a hospital late at night around 3 a.m. Now traditionally that is thought of as the witching hour, but you know, no big deal or anything. Anyway, let's take a quick little look at the clip and see what we can see. We can see the security guard get up from his desk, clipboard in hand, opening the bell, even going so far as bringing in a wheelchair for a guest who doesn't appear to exist. Watch this clip as many times as you'd like, you'll never see who he's letting in because they just don't seem to exist at all. It's unsettling. Now let's take a look at this. The Scully approach is that this could just be the musings of a very bored security guard who's working the graveyard shift at a hospital doing anything to make himself entertained. I've worked long night shifts by myself. I would do anything to pass the time. I do weird stuff when nobody's looking, so I totally get it. Now the Mulder approach, and that's why we're here, because we're ready to believe, is that this could be any number of supernatural things. A ghost? Some sort of demonic entity possessing the security guard and making him open the door. The way the guard does it all so routinely, as if he doesn't even realize something is so wrong, is unsettling. I think that's the word for it. There's something unsettling about this clip that's hard to describe. The clip went fairly viral for its bizarre nature, and the hospital clarified that the guard never registered a patient to enter. So either it was a prank or the demon just didn't give him enough information and just waltzed on in. Let me know what you all think. Is this a bored prankster or something supernatural sneaking on into our world? Number 3, the Ghost Hotel. Our next clip coming up is, well, it's this one that's made the rounds lots over the internet and the more paranormal, spookier sides of things. You'll be able to see why fairly easy, as this clip is baffling and one of the more compelling pieces of paranormal activity caught on camera that I have seen in at least the last 3 to 4 minutes. The clip was submitted by the hotel security manager of the Wingate Hotel in Illinois. According to the manager, guests staying at the hotel were complaining about strange happenings going on the second floor. These guests were reporting everything from noise complaints, scratching, changes in temperature, loud disruptions like banging on the walls, scratching, and loud screaming, all particularly emanating from room 209. There was no history of anything suspicious happening in room 209 until this incident, you know? No whole family got killed or something, not a history of demons in there. This is the footage that was recorded of the security guard sent to deal with what was happening in room 209. The dispatcher sounds scared, telling the guard to wait for the police to arrive before entering the dreaded 209. After a brief entrance, the guard returns visibly shaken by what he'd seen. He demands they call the police immediately, and that while there was no one inside room 209, all of the furniture had been flipped upside down and stacked. I've got to say, it's always very refreshing when you watch a paranormal clip like this or something, and someone reacts normally, which is to say, getting the heck out of the building. Number 2, the ghost alarm. we got ourselves another clip from the ghost subreddit. Hey, what can I say? If you want to look at ghosts, it's a pretty good place to go. There's quite a lot of ghosts already there. This one was posted to us from user Reman8 with the caption, "Something set off the security footage on one of our properties. Nothing was stolen. This is the footage." We'll play it for you now. Pop those peepers wide on open. You're gonna need to look real closely for this, okay? Take a look at this spine-tingling footage. Did you see it? This is one of those ones I had to watch twice before it popped out at me, and then I nearly leapt out of my chair. So don't feel bad if you need to scoot back 30 seconds to try and catch that one again. It's very, very slight. At first glance, it might seem like nothing is there, but when you really pay attention, you can see the faintest silhouette of a figure creeping through in the background, seemingly walking through thin air, barely able to make it out. I know logically this is probably just a camera glitch or something, but that ghostly outline of a person is enough to send a shiver up and down my back. The poster claims that the front door to the property was opened, and that's what triggered the security footage. Well, who could have done that if not for this malevolent spirit? One commenter suggested it was possible that energy dispelled by the ghost could have been what set off the alarm and opened the door, and that's why it looks so spectral and ethereal on the footage, just this sort of like translucent shimmering figure shape. What do you think, internet comment hive mind? Is this some real proof of something from another world walking into ours, or is this just some dust and light hitting the camera weird and our eyes are filling in the details we wish we were seeing? Please do let us know down below. I did a little digging on it myself, and the Redditor returned to the same thread after a whole year and reported that nothing else like this had ever happened in that year, and that he hadn't found any evidence of spirits in the local area or anything strange happening in the house before they moved in. So maybe it was just a one-off haunting, but still, one haunting is more than enough for me. Very, very unnerving. At number 1, the ghost office. Coming in at the final spot for today on horrible spectral encounters caught on camera is this creepy footage from a Manchester office. Now, yeah, an office, that's already kind of creepy and liminal enough and scary, but that's not what we're talking about. The footage is the actual footage security guards were flicking through on the early hours of November 1st. It looks like a regular old office, if not a bit drab, but then the Skinamarink style horror starts to turn from regular boring security detail to full-blown horror movie at one key moment. At 3 a.m., wouldn't you notice? The witching hour. Things start to get weird. All the computers in the office flicker on at the exact same time. All the chairs start to get thrown around. Cabinets opening when they shouldn't. Objects rattling off as if a massive spiritual disturbance is happening. Now, it's more than just a little bit too perfect that all of this supernatural stuff happened at 3 a.m., which is sometimes referred to as the witching hour, for the belief that it's the time of the day when the veil between the spirit world and our world is weakest, and spirits are free to cross on over to wreak a little havoc in ours. I've got to say, if this is faked somehow, this is a superbly impressive fake with an impressive amount of effort put into it. More effort than I've seen in most horror movies, and a good budget. Whoever was faking this had dedication, time, and a really good sense of atmosphere. But at the same time, it's so perfect a clip. I don't know. I have to ask myself if it's real. Would ghosts really be so punctual to arrive at 3 exactly? Would a ghost even need to get somewhere on time? You've got all the time in the world. And if I had all the time of the afterlife, I certainly wouldn't be rushing towards an office. I get enough office time in my regular life. Number 5, the hospital ward. Coming up first today on our list of high strangeness caught on closed circuit television is this bizarre footage of a ghost caught on camera late at night in a hospital ward. Why don't you watch the footage now? If you dare. I don't mind if you scroll down to the comments if you're too scared. The user posted this clip alongside this little bit of context. A security guard here kept seeing things and wanted someone else to see because he thought he was losing his mind. I would dox myself, but my job allowed me to be at an abandoned hospital for service, and the security guard could see things so often, he told me to shoot on my camera because I may see something. And at first I didn't. I thought I did. But it wasn't until later when I got off work and I was walking inside, I was watching the video, and then I realized in it there was a figure and it was the creepiest thing I've seen in my life thus far. The clip made the rounds on the internet because, well, you know, to the original poster's credit, this is the creepiest thing we've seen thus far. It seems like the place is empty, which is already eerie enough. An abandoned hospital ward isn't exactly a comforting place, and then you see the dark silhouette quickly darting through the doorway. What is the creature in this clip? Is this just someone sneaking around, a vagrant squatting in an abandoned hospital? Or is this a spirit passing through these hollowed halls? Many on the thread where this was originally posted inferred that this creature could be a shadow person. What's the difference between a shadow person and a ghost beyond umbra and darkness, I suppose? I'm not entirely sure myself, but I can tell you this much. It's got me unsettled. And if you know what a shadow person is and you want to clarify that for the casual crypt keeper, please throw it down below. I'm only so knowledgeable and I get my knowledge from all over, so help me out a little bit. And if you're looking for way more scary stories, some that I might even know a thing or two about, well, click on through to Top 5 Scary because we've got a whole lot of that. Basically, if you can think it up, if you get scared by it, we've done a video or two on it. Aliens, cryptids, monsters, ghosts, schools, everything. So hit subscribe, make sure you hit that little bell as well, and don't miss a single scream. But would you kindly do that at the end of this video? Because I got 4 more scary CCTV ghosts coming for you right now. Number 4, the insurance fraud ghost. Coming up next for us is this clip that was posted to the subreddit High Strangeness, which is one of my favorite sources on the internet for, well, high strangeness, for clips that you can't quite explain with anything other than that. And I will point this out too, if you've got a source where you get a lot of scary videos or paranormal stuff, drop that down below as well because I am always looking for new sources to get new content from. Anyway, the user who posted this video had their account deleted. What happened? Did they get too close to the truth? Someone pulled a black sack over their head, tossed them in the back of a van? I have to assume so. The clip in question shows a parking lot late at night, and we see a car rolling through and on out, and for a brief fleeting moment, we see a flickering shadow figure, oh, shadow people again, looking vaguely humanoid, getting run through by the car. The ghost then dissipates thereafter. Was it struck by the car? Did it get annoyed? Was the ghost trying for a little bit of insurance fraud? The old dive in front of a moving car trick? Do you think a ghost feels anything if it gets run over? I'm not gonna get answers to any of these questions, but what I find interesting and notable about this clip is that the car stops after striking or passing through the shadow person, which is what makes me think this video isn't just a trick of the light or a camera artifact or anything. It seems like something that this was genuinely something the driver saw in front of them. Now, I did try to do some digging, but I wasn't able to find too much backstory on this video, where it came from, who was driving, so we only have this clip to go off of and make our own conclusions. So what do you think? Did this person pass through a ghost? Was this a ghost trying for insurance fraud? Number 3. Hotel ghost. Our next clip coming up is this one. It's one that's made the rounds lots over the internet and the scarier paranormal sides of the internet, which I'm sure all you creeps and listeners are out there hanging out on. You'll be able to see why fairly easily. This clip is baffling and one of the more compelling pieces of paranormal activity caught on camera that I've seen in at least 3 to 4 minutes. The clip was submitted by the hotel security manager of the Wingate Hotel in Illinois. According to the manager, guests staying at the hotel were complaining about strange happenings on the second floor. A guest would complain about everything from noise complaints to scratching, changes in temperature, and loud disruptions like banging on the wall, scratching, and loud screaming, all coming from room 209. Now, there was no history of anything suspicious happening in room 209 until this incident. No long buried story about someone going crazy and killing their family in room 209 or anything. Now, here's the footage that was recorded of the security guard that was sent to deal with it. The dispatcher sounds scared, genuinely scared, telling the guard to wait for the police to arrive before entering the dreaded 209. After a brief entrance, the guard returns visibly shaken by what he had seen. He demands they call the police immediately, and that while there was no one inside of room 209, all of the furniture had been flipped upside down and stacked, which, if you know anything about poltergeists, that's like a classic poltergeist move. That's how they let you know they're there. It's very refreshing, I would say, to see someone in a paranormal clip who reacts to something properly, that is to say, getting the heck out of the building immediately. He doesn't wait around, he's not staying in there to take photos of anything. No. He sees a bunch of chairs stacked on top of tables. He knows I don't get paid nearly enough to deal with this. Let's call the Ghostbusters. Let's move on out. God bless you, security guard. I hope you're doing well. I hope you didn't get haunted. Number 2, Costa Rican monster. Now, I spend a long time looking at weird CCTV footage, door cam, blurry cell phone footage, trying to find something weird and freaky to show you all for these videos, and I think I've saved the best 2 for last here. These ones are really freaky, and I'm excited for you to see them. This footage was captured from a ring light security camera, and it's honestly one of the more downright unsettling things I've seen in a hot minute. Take a little look-see, and I used that joke earlier in the script. I gotta start paying attention more. Take a little look-see, and I don't blame you at all if you need to pause this video and go look at some pictures of something cute, ducks playing in a field or something. We can see a dog barking repeatedly at something outside, and at first I rolled my eyes at this clip because I thought this isn't anything supernatural, this is just 2 dogs barking at each other. Until I actually started to pay attention to the clip, and I realized what the dog was barking at was absolutely not any dog breed anyone has ever recognized. No, we see something absolutely horrifying, crawling around like a spider, looking like it just came out of Dead Space or something. The way the dog is barking, oh my god. I've heard dogs bark a lot before. This dog is freaking out. This dog is shrieking. This dog is screaming. It seems panicked and scared and trying to let everyone in the neighborhood know that something deeply evil is around and crawling around in a way it shouldn't. Now, this is one of those things where I would like to look at it, and rationally I want to say this is just someone messing around, having some fun, maybe had a drink or 2 here and is letting loose, but I don't know. I'm having trouble playing Scully here. I just fully believe this might actually be a demonic entity that someone caught on camera, and I am absolutely glad that it is nowhere near me. This was recorded in Costa Rica. I live in North America. A lot of water and distance between the 2 of us. Now, if you need me, I'm gonna go, I don't know, watch a video of like a cat being funny or something. Can we throw like maybe a funny cat up at the end there? A little palate cleanser. Cute little guy, little ears. And coming up at our number 1 spot today for horrible spectral encounters caught on camera is this creepy footage from a Manchester office. No, the office experience is not the horror present in this video. The footage is the actual footage security guards were flicking through on the early hours of November 1st. It's a regular office, if not a bit drab, it's not my style. But the Skinamarink style footage starts to turn from regular boring security detail to full-blown horror movie at one key moment. At 3 a.m., things start to get weird. All the computers in the office flicker on at the exact same time, all the chairs start to get thrown around, cabinets opening when they shouldn't, objects rattling as if a massive spiritual disturbance is happening. It's just more than a little bit too perfect that all the supernatural happening happens at 3 a.m. downright on the dot. Now 3 a.m. in paranormal culture is sometimes referred to as the witching hour, for the belief that that's the time of day when the veil between our world and the paranormal world is weakest, and the spirits are free to cross over to wreak a little havoc in the office. Now, I've got to say, my mind wants to tell me this one is fake, but if this is fake somehow, this is a superbly impressive fake with more effort put into it than most horror movies I've seen recently. Whoever was faking this had dedication, time, and a good sense of atmosphere and direction. But at the same time, it's just, it's so perfect it's suspicious,